First of all, I want to thank those who have come so far to share so much in such a short period of time. We have all gained by listening to you, but from my point of view, you are all eligible for members of the organization that I run, which is called the Forum for Cities in Transition. Let me give you a little bit of background and then move forward. Is that in my work, in my academic work to begin with, and I've worked extensively 40 years in Northern Ireland, 20 years in South Africa, in Iraq, and in other places. I found that divided societies, that are societies coming out of conflict or societies in conflict, they shared certain common behavioral characteristics that quote-unquote normal societies don't have. So on that basis, I brought a number of them together in Boston. And all they had to do, each side had to be balanced, each protagonist from both sides, and all they had to do was to tell the story of their conflict through their eyes, their narrative through their eyes. And I said, if you do not identify with each other, if you do not bond with each other in some way, then go home. The experiment is over. But they came. And within the second or third person speaking, you could see nods going around the table. People were saying, yeah, that could be me speaking. Those words could be coming out of my mouth. And what we got at the end of that particular meeting was a sense of bonding and identification among the cities, and the belief that they could do things together that would benefit each other that they could not do alone. And out of that was born the Forum for a City in Transition, based on really a simple idea that one divided society is in the best position to help another. Now, on that basis, we deal with mayors and municipalities and NGOs. And what we do is we bring them together once a year on a rotating basis. And each city has to say where it once was, where it is today, and where it hopes to go in terms of transition and reconciliation. At the end of each conference, each city, and I've been told this at the beginning of the week, they have to design a project that will either further reconciliation in their own city, or that will help somebody else who's lower down on the ladder of transition. And probably the best example I can give of that relates to Kosovo. And one of our cities is Mitrovica. Mitrovica is divided by the river Ibar. On one side there are Serbs, and on the other side there are Kosovars, and no one wants to ever cross that bridge. But there was supposed to be a common police force, which obviously wasn't working. And we happened to have with us two of the people who were instrumental in completely restructuring the police force in Northern Ireland, which was a requirement of the Good Friday Agreement. And that the police force, which up to that point had been a target of the IRA and the Catholic community, and 95% Protestant and pro-unionist, was dismantled and turned into a police force that was 50-50%, representing both community and acceptable to both communities. So we took 10 Kosovar officers and 10 Serbian officers to Belfast and put them under an intensive month of training on how you build a cohesive police force when you have different identities and ethnicities involved. Now, we're hard. At the end of every conference, that's why we are not a conference, we are one rolls into the next, and what counts are the outcomes, that people actually, after they make a commitment to do a project, that they do the project. And each year, at each conference, they have to give an accounting of what progress they have made with what they had proposed. And if we find that for 2 years running, a city has not performed or carried out its project, has not made good in its commitment, we throw the city out. They're simply not serious about what they are doing. And we began with 5 cities, and I give you just the scope of where we are now and where some of the cities sitting here would be an ideal members. We have Belfast, Derry, Nicosia, Mitrovica, Sarajevo, Mostar, Srebrenica, Tripoli in Lebanon, Baghdad, Kirkuk, Jerusalem, Ramallah, Kaduna in Nigeria, Mitte, and Beirut. We had Beirut, but Beirut did not carry out its commitments, so we threw Beirut out. And what we encourage during the year is interactiveness between the cities. For example, the city of Derry, Londonderry, has almost adopted Mitrovica, and it sends groups of businessmen, particularly businessmen, to Mitrovica to see what investment opportunities can be explored, or what perhaps Mitrovica could give to Derry. Because the words I hear across, what I've heard across here this morning, and the words that resonate through all our conferences, are the word security, human security. That people feeling safe to walk their streets in their homes, the feeling that they have some protection. And there have been a host of studies done that show that the primary reason why states fail is because people in those states do not feel a sense of personal security, and hence the rise of crime and mafias and everything else, drug dealing and everything else that goes with it. But interaction between the cities is the key, that during the year they're not just acting alone. So we have a website and social media, and we communicate with each other through those media. And we are now setting up chat rooms where people can actually go to a particular place, and we can have small seminars on different subjects across many countries. So again, the basic concept: one divided city in the best position to help another, because only they have particular characteristics that are not common to normal cities. And it's the incredible interaction that goes on among those cities over 4 or 5 days, when they learn about how one city tackles a problem in a particular way and it's stuck, and it finds out that another city has the same problem, but it has a different way of approaching the problem that could get over the way they were stuck. It's this kind of interaction goes on. How do we get over obstacles that are in our way of making our cities, of bringing true reconciliation to our cities? So again, I'm coming back to the point of, in divided societies, there are all kinds of maldistribution of resources that give rise to resentments, grievances being held in the past, people not having hope. Instead, by bringing them together and showing them that they can empower themselves by doing things together is the key to what we do.